The Cold War, a world on the edge. In the aftermath of the Second World War, the world stood victorious and terrified. Two superpowers rose from the ashes, each claiming to defend a better future. One promised freedom, the other promised equality. But between their visions lay a chasm, deep, dark, and armed with enough nuclear fire to erase humanity. This is the story of the Cold War, a silent battlefield where no shot ignited a world war, yet every moment risked one. A global struggle that pushed nations to the brink and kept the world forever on edge. The beginning of tension. 1945. Europe lay in ruins. The United States possessed unmatched economic power, atomic weapons, and global influence. The Soviet Union held vast armies across Eastern Europe, claiming a security buffer after suffering 27 million deaths in the war. They had fought side by side to defeat Nazi Germany. But victory brought suspicion, not unity. In 1946, Winston Churchill delivered a chilling warning. From Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, Iron Curtain has descended across the continent. Behind that curtain, the USSR built socialist governments. In the West, the US rallied allies to protect democracy and capitalism. Two ideologies, two visions, locked on a collision course. This was the opening act of a global rivalry. The nuclear age begins. August 1949. A mushroom cloud rises over Kazakhstan. The Soviet Union has detonated its first atomic bomb. The monopoly is broken. A new era begins. By the 1950s, both superpowers race to build weapons beyond imagination. The hydrogen bomb, thousands of times more powerful than Hiroshima. Intercontinental ballistic missiles, capable of launching nuclear warheads across the globe in minutes. For the first time in human history, the world can destroy itself. The doctrine becomes known as mutually assured destruction, MAD. A paradox where peace is maintained not through trust, but by guaranteeing annihilation. Proxy wars and global struggle. Though the US and USSR never fought directly, their conflict ignited wars across the world. Korea, 1950. North invades South. The peninsula becomes the first major battlefield of the Cold War. Millions die. The border barely moves, but the message is clear. The Cold War is no longer political. It is deadly. Vietnam, 1960s. A jungle war of guerrillas, ideology, and unrelenting attrition. The US fights to stop communism. The USSR and China arm the North. It becomes one of the most divisive conflicts in American history. Afghanistan, 1979. The Soviet Union invades. The US secretly supports the Mujahideen. A decade of bloodshed weakens the Soviet Empire. Across Africa, Latin America, and the Middle East, coups, revolutions, and insurgencies are fueled by foreign interests. Nations become chess pieces on a global board. Ordinary people pay the price. The Cuban Missile Crisis. October 1962. Reconnaissance photos expose Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 150 kilometers from US shores. For 13 days, the world stands at the edge of oblivion. President John F. Kennedy orders a naval blockade. Soviet ships approach. Fingers hover over nuclear triggers. Millions brace for the end. Then a message. A negotiation. A deal. The USSR will remove its missiles from Cuba. The US secretly removes its missiles from Turkey. Nuclear war is avoided by inches. The crisis becomes the closest the world ever comes to self-destruction. Espionage, technology, and propaganda. While battlefields raged abroad, another war was fought in shadows and laboratories. Spy agencies, CIA, KGB, MI6, conduct covert operations, topple governments, and steal secrets. Double agents risk everything. Walls whisper. In 1957, the USSR shocks the world by launching Sputnik, the first artificial satellite. The space race begins. Soon, American astronauts walk on the moon. Soviet cosmonauts break records in orbit. Every achievement becomes proof of ideological superiority. Propaganda saturates education, religion, cinema, and culture. Children learn to duck under school desks. though no desk could stop a nuclear blast. Fear becomes a weapon as powerful as any bomb. The fall of the Soviet Empire. By the 1980s, the Soviet Union faces exhaustion. Its economy stagnates. Afghanistan drains resources. Citizens grow disillusioned. Mikhail Gorbachev introduces reforms. Perestroika, economic restructuring. Glasnost, openness and free expression. But these changes unleash forces impossible to control. Protests spread across Eastern Europe. The Berlin Wall collapses in 1989, an iconic moment that signals the end of Soviet influence. On December 26, 1991, the Soviet Union dissolves. The Cold War ends not with a final battle, but with a quiet collapse of an empire. A world forever changed. For 46 years, the Cold War shaped our world. It determined borders, alliances, and the fate of nations. It inspired human achievements, from satellites to supercomputers. Yet it also left scars, wars, trauma, and unresolved tensions. Though the Cold War ended, its legacy lives on. Nuclear arsenals still exist. Old rivalries remain. And the balance of power continues to shift. But the greatest lesson endures: that humanity must never again allow fear, ideology, or ambition to push the world to the edge of destruction. Because in the Cold War, there were no true victors, only survivors.